Hello and welcome back to Talon 101. This time we need to talk about the brand new thing that Tekken 8 did for Hwoarang, and that's adding homing moves in both left flamingo stance and right flamingo stance. I don't know why they did it. I mean, sure, why not? Because LFS back 3 and RFS back 4 used to be Hwoarang's homing moves, so they were a power crush and they were a homing move. Now, you remove the power crush element and just keep a homing move. And you'd be thinking, oh, okay, it's not going to be as punishable anymore, right? Because the power crushes were like -12. You were risking your life for a homing move. Now you don't have to risk your life for a homing move, right? And no, it's -10. I guess it depends if you mean risking more, because now the punish for a power crush is like a grab, and a 10 frame punish is a 10 frame punish, but you're still getting punished for checking with a homing move, provided you do it at point blank. Because if you do it at, let's say, tip range, which is somewhere around here, then yeah, you're not getting punished at all, but you're always gonna have to place it at that range if you wanna be completely safe. So the usage of both these flamingo homing moves is, well, to do its job. It's supposed to be a homing move. That's really all it is. But their frame datas are very similar to each other. There's just a few differences. So number one, LFS F+4 is the faster homing move at 17 frames, and it's +6 on hit. If it knocks down, if it's counter hit, it knocks down, right? And then right flamingos, RFS F+3, this comes out at 20 frames, and it's +5. So it's a little bit lower, like -1 in terms of advantage. And this is the older version of RFF DF3. So they just put in right flamingo stance. But they are still both -10. So it is what it is. So they both will put you back in left foot forward, and if they get knocked down, well, you run with the usual standard wave Oki, or flamingo cancels. Take your pick. You can even just run up if you want. So after a knockdown, run up, down 3-4, FF3, running 3. A lot of the standard stuff. Now, the key part about these two homing moves is that, yes, that says +6, and yes, that says +5, but if I put this to backdash, and Elisa starts backdashing, one of the best backdashes in the game, suddenly, I can't check her anymore. Not at all. So its job, it really is to just be a homing move. They're just can I use these plus frames? I'm not sure about that one, Chief. Almost nothing reaches against a really good backdash. So all you have, see, even DF3 whiffs. And that'll be one of our longer moves. So it catches against LFS F+4, but it doesn't catch against RFS F+3. But with LFS F+4, DF4 also whiffs. So it's you don't have a lot of options to work with. You do have frames though. So if the opponent is a little bit eager to press a button here, then yeah, you'll win. Whether that be on LFS F+4 or RFS F+3. But the best option for them to do is just the backdash, not even the step, just straight up backdash. So you have a lot of pushback on hit here, and you're playing around the fact that the opponent can backdash. So now you have frames, right? So the mix-up here is that your opponent can't necessarily press a button, but nor can you press a button yourself. So your first option on hit would be to dash block. It's your safest bet. You wanna move on to the next option, do a little bit something risky. Power crush cancel. Because the first hit isn't gonna catch anyway. Well, I mean, if you're again doing it off LFS 4, you'll catch, but off RFS 4-3, that wouldn't catch, so recommended for both. That way you don't have to think about it, you just cancel. And the other one, you backdash. You wait for them to whiff, you guys return back to neutral. No advantage here whatsoever, or not even keeping a slight advantage compared to the first two options. Your last option after all those, because those are the ones that keep you safe, just go for it. Serious. Go for it. Go for the move you want to press immediately after any of these buttons, because you have frames covering you. So the moment you get interrupted, that's when you can tell yourself, okay, they're trying to interrupt me here. Let me use the button that prevents them from interrupting me. That way I can go back to straight up doing a dash into a 50-50 or a slight dash into DF4. That way it could catch. I know it whiffed there. Elisa, it do be. Now, the one thing this move is pretty good though is on block. So if your opponent does decide to do a small check at tip range, key part is tip range, you can do something like DF2 right away, like that, to catch them. So that's very similar to 1-2-4-3, wherein you take advantage of the fact that your opponent may press a slower button or they just dash in without a block and you could like rob them with a DF2. But besides that, there isn't much you're doing on block. There really isn't, because if they hit you with like a move that does reach, let's say something like Elisa's Power Crush, and you do the homing move at tip range, right? Well, you're not gonna win there. You're stuck. So it's something you can throw out like once or twice, and then once the opponent starts locking you in, oh well, then just hold back for as long as like you're not in range for like your -10 punish. At the wall though, these moves do come in handy. So if you want to like just be very safe in your check, like in terms of like your mid check, right? Let's say you do something like forward 3, LFS forward 3, and then you check them with LFS F4. That's great, because now that +6 can be used. It's the same thing with like right Flamingo. You do RFF or RFS 2-4 into RFS forward 3. Now that +5 can be used. There's not much they can go. Great. And since it does knock down on counter hit, right? That's big damage. Hwoarang's way. We're gonna check with the RFS forward 3 now. Yeah, not a bad spot to be in. But besides that, I mean, they're homing moves. They're homing moves that come out relatively on the slow end of 17 to 20 frames. So the only issue really, besides the fact that it has a pushback on hit, it's punishable on block, is that, you know, if the opponent does decide to challenge you right away, let's say again they're gonna do a standard jab, and let's say you're trying to do something like down back 4 into the homing move because you're being really, really safe, you'll get interrupted. Compared to if you did like RFS back 4 there. So that's like one of the cons now for throwing out a homing move in either left Flamingo stance or right Flamingo stance. So it's a little bit more tricky to use, but at least you have a homing move that's less punishable. Albeit it still is punishable. I feel like it should be not punishable at all. I feel like this move should be completely safe, but it is what it is. So that has been LFS F4 and RFS forward 3. That's everything I know about it. Again, that's the lesson for this video. Again, I've been Frontier, and thank you for watching.